Welcome to the Sweet Podcast, as we call it, because obviously we're Sweet Cleans.
Elite.
Um, Everything that we do, we're just going to name Sweet because you have to milk that cow before. Um, but today we're joined by two amazing artists, but obviously they're a band called
Where
Led
are
by
they?
Lanterns.
How's it
Thanks,
going,
Steve.
guys?
Well, yeah, it's going absolutely amazingly. Thank you very much. Hope you guys are doing well today on whatever this blessed day might be.
What
Uh,
is today? Thursday.
It's
Yeah.
a
Thursday.
Thursday,
Yes,
yeah.
Thursday. Jeez.
Literally every day I've had the Friday feeling, but every morning I've had the Monday blues. Like it's just
Yeah, yeah.
the worst.
It's not the same. But what? Right. Before we get into this, what kind of genre would you describe your band as?
Go, Sean.
It's the hardest question.
I
Like
know.
literally, ask me anything, just don't ask me that. It's like it's really hard. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's like try to describe your own music. Like you listen to your own music in a completely different way. Like I'll show one person, it'll be like, oh, so you like metal? I'm like, no. Like we're closer to reggae than we are metal. Like what are you hearing? Like, you listen to yourself so differently, but like I would say it's just if riffage is a genre, riffage and we've got on our Instagram profile heavy riffs, boy band vocals. Now I don't technically actually think it's as boy band vocal as Chris thinks it is. So but that's what we go by, heavy riffs and boy band vocals as a genre.
I
Well,
mean,
we've
it's a
got
good genre to be
we've
in.
got the crew. The crew is showing up in the Twitch. It's
Oh,
funny.
lovely.
We literally went live on Instagram 2 hours ago. No, yeah.
Did you put that in the group chat,
Oh
Chris?
yeah.
Uh, put what in the group chat?
The link.
No, I put it in the Discord.
Oh, have you? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so they call them. So they anyway. What I was going to say is they were there on the Instagram live as well. We call them the Kranken cult because a lot of them are from Germany, and they asked me like, Chris, can you speak any German? And the only thing I could remember was Hilfe, Schnell, and Krankenwagen, which means help, quick, and ambulance. And that's why there's ambulance emotes in the chat.
The
Oh yeah,
lanterns and ambulances. That's what we
yeah,
love to
literally,
see.
yeah.
Oh dear. Right. So talk. Right. Let's talk about Catacombs, your most recent release. Like, what was your inspiration behind the song, or like kind of what was the thing that brought Catacombs to what
This
it
was in
is
front
today?
of me. So, uh, weirdly, again, me and Chris have just been speaking about this on our Instagram live. So, uh, whilst I was writing music, obviously you guys will know when you have bad writer's block, it's like the worst feeling in the world. Mickey's gone. Um,
Oh
but
dear, did you get it?
yeah.
Oh.
Oh, my video's broken. Damn it.
Not again.
I swear we're professional.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate, this has gone so much smoother than our Twitch streams have.
Really?
You know, I think we've getting it down now. Actually, well, I say Chris is getting it. But normally when we have a Twitch stream, it's like literally just it's frozen faces for the first half an hour of the stream, and then. But Catacombs was in the middle of a writer's block, and it was. I was looking at all the ideas that I had on my laptop, and I've just got stacks of what I call dead songs, that won't ever do anything, and I can't bring them, even though I won't do anything with them, I can't delete them. Like they're just taking up space, and I just feel like maybe that could amount to something. You know, I'm sure you guys have probably done the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, like this is horrible. Like I feel like I'm living like this is a tiny room that I'm in now. This is where I do all the songwriting, and when I'm in writer's block, it really does feel like my own little tomb that I put myself in such a really bad space mentally, and I'm just looking at all these ideas, and I'm just like, obviously it didn't feel like I was living in the catacombs, but that was the metaphor that I was going for. And then I actually had those lyrics written down on my phone for a while, and with the way that I was feeling, that kind of I always start a song with a chorus, and I really like the syllable use of "I'm sick of living in that," So I kind of did it with Alive as well, like because I've been dying just to feel, I really like the staccato sounds going into a chorus. Yeah. The Michael Jackson version is probably better. But yeah, so it was all about the writer's block, kind of the mental space that I was in. Some of the lyrics is just like, is this even worth it? Am I telling my story? And it ended up being like a pretty decent song that I was really pleased with. At the end, I sent the guys like the heavy riff, and they were like, "Yep."
Do you find that that's a way that you often write some of your favorite songs? So when you're in that sort of writer's block and you sort of have to force something out, do you sometimes feel that maybe not liking it as much as some of your other songs to begin with, and trying to force it to become as good as you think it is? Do you think that's a good way for people to approach songwriting and new music?
It can be. It absolutely can be. Yeah. Like, I've forced songwriting before and nothing's happened. And I'm like, well, I knew that was going to happen because I forced it. But then you'll write something like the single before was a song called Down. And I scrapped that song completely. And it was Chris that was like, no. And Chris wrote this middle eight to it, and it changed everything. And then we changed the chorus. So it is, sometimes you do just have to show up. And by showing up, I mean, sitting down at your computer and just doing something, because you might write a really bad verse that leads to a really good chorus, and then you can change the verse. That's what's great about recording stuff yourself, and I've just got Logic. I mean, Chris records everything for us, but I demo everything first. It's really bad quality in comparison to what Chris can do, but you write a good verse, it could lead to a terrible chorus, but you've got the verse, so it's just writing really good bits and then finding a way to kind of like make them transition nicely together.
Yeah.
But yeah, forcing it sometimes does actually work.
I'd say like it's the two extremes work better than the middle ground. Like either you start to write a song and it just completely flows out of you from start to finish, and it's a good one. When you just know straight away, like you listen to it, like, yeah, okay, this is something good. Or like Sean said, it's like the opposite, where it you don't think it's good at first, but then there'll be a moment where it turns into that good song. But it's when you write something and it's like, meh, that's when it doesn't work. I think it rarely works then. It has to be like either one or the other, definitely.
So Christian, you produce.
Me and Sean both produce the songs, and I'll end up mixing like the finalized demo, and then what I'll do is I'll bounce down those stems with my EQ on and everything. Maybe not the compression on everything, and then we'll send it to our friend Jules, who does the final mix, because he's just better than me.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
So you both sort of work in the production of the songs, sort of. Instead of just, as opposed to just being a sort of singer or guitarist, you put yourselves into the part where you can really be involved with the production of the sounds as well.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, so for me, my job outside of the band, when COVID isn't a thing, I'm actually like a touring front of house engineer and and a tour manager as well. So I kind of developed that skill of mixing audio like while doing the job. And I used to run a studio with my friend Boots back in Wales as well before I moved to the Midlands to start this band. So, I think honestly, like even when we started this band, we'd still demo stuff ourselves, and then we went away to a studio to record. And like, I feel like since taking that away and just tracking ourselves, we got, like Sean just said, we got time to send ideas back and forth and change things way more than like. Before, it's like you have to do all that in the demo, and when you go to the studio, you're so restricted with time, you have to just record exactly how you've done it in the demo. And whereas I feel like this way, it allows, like you said, more production, more time to fiddle around with the little things. And there's plenty of those little sort of, added instrumentation and little technical effects and stuff that we have now in the new stuff since recording ourselves that we didn't have in the older, in our first EP Ashes. It didn't have, and it was like band. There was some synth in there, but the synth would come from the demo. We'd take the stems with us to the studio, and then it wouldn't change. Whereas like now we have the ability to finish a song and have pretty much the finished mix, and then listen to it as a finished song, and then go like, oh, actually, let's add a cowbell in triplets for
Oh
some reason.
no.
I was I was actually going to say that sort of leads on to another question I wanted to ask, which is when you approach songwriting, do you find yourselves often writing a song on a guitar from start to finish and then adding the embellishments, or does the production bleed into the songwriting as well? And you start using the production as a form of songwriting in itself.
Yeah, I think it's gone both ways. I think it's definitely got. Sean has written. I'm guessing. Actually, I know Alive, which there's the riff in Alive that goes dun 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 dun, dun, and you wrote that. That was the first part of Alive you came up with while you were sat on the toilet. With your friend,
Fantastic.
doing a voice note, and the voice note is literally do 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 do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
But I wish I knew the answer definitively, whether it is one thing or another. And you know what? If I ever meet anybody that writes their own music as well, that is a question that I ask. I'm like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg for you? Like, because for me, I don't know. It happens completely different. Like, I'll have a sample and that'll start everything, or I'll have a riff and that starts everything. I think it's a good thing that there's not one rule fits all when it comes to songwriting, because all your songs are just saying the same probably. But it's hard. I wish I did have a step one, step two, because it would be a lot easier, but it's not that way at all. You could be at work, think of a melody, and then just be like, shit, I've got to get that down. Like, and then you write the guitar down and then you change the lyrics to the song. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
Exactly.
you just, like I say, you just turn up and make some sort of noise, and then it might take off, it might not. And more times than not, it doesn't take off. It literally, I think I've written more songs that no one will ever hear than, what I'll throw out. There's absolutely stacks on my laptop, and I'm like, nope, and then have to move on to the next thing. So I wish I had a step-by-step thing, but it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that's one thing that we're doing. I don't know if you guys have seen. We've launched this Patreon called the Lanterns Alliance.
Yeah,
and what's
definitely.
cool is because of all these extra ideas that we've got that never made it into songs, we are able to actually show people now, which is cool. We're putting them in that Lanterns Alliance. So there's like a whole song that we wrote that with vocals and everything in there that was never going to be a song released, but it's like a full song. So it's quite cool for people to be able to see that and see, like, I'm sure you guys as well, you've got tons of songs that are never going to see the light of day. And
So many.
yeah, it's just how it is. It's like, it's a numbers game, really, isn't it? You're gonna write 10 songs, and then one of them's gonna be way better than the rest. And there's some bands who will release all of those 10 songs and probably be like less refined, if you get what I mean. Whereas I feel like if you write more and really kind of listen to your brain, which tells you which one's better, and then just narrow it down, I think that's definitely a better way to go. And you can always like go back to the demos. Like but while digging out old demos for this Lanterns Alliance, I've rediscovered songs, and it's funny, isn't it, Sean? When we listen to them, it's like, oh, that was actually, and you always say, that was actually really good. Shit, why did we? And like the amount of times I've gone, oh, should we go back to that? And then it's like, no, compared to the ones we've released, maybe it isn't that good. But for me, like, in answer to the question of production or instruments first, like recently, most of the ones I've have started with like a sample I found on Splice or something. I mean, our song "Criminal" started with literally the filthiest, like wop, 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 like dubstep sample, and I was like, And then I wrote the guitar, I was like, wop, bum, bow, bum, bum, over the top of it, and I was like, oh, that's actually cool. And then that became the verse in the end. So that started with that.
Well, yeah. Well, let's kind of move on. So who are your inspirations? Like, who inspired you to kind of start the band, or like kind of any shot, like specific artists?
Sean?
Well, Chris was already in this band before I started. I started this band as a bass player. We had a singer before called Boots, who left, and now he's in a band called Waster. And I was actually again saying this just before this stream, that a lot of our influences are actually people that we're friends with and actually that are close to us. Like, we went on tour with Normandy, like they were a massive part of why we do what we do. You know, Waster, I know our friend went and played guitar for them, but like with or without Boots, I think that those guys are absolutely great. You know, and it's the fact that they've got Boots in the band and it's like one of our closest friends. It's like it makes it even more personal for us. And you know, so they really inspire us because they kind of show us what's ahead. You know, if we just push a little bit harder, this is what could happen. You know, obviously there's the typical bands that are inspiring everybody in the music industry at the moment, like the Don Brocos, the Bring Me the Horizons. Of course, everyone's going to say that, and they are deserving of it because they are literally top of the game, and everyone's looking up to them at the moment. But like I say, I think most of them are like friends. Literally, I think we inspire each other quite a lot as well. Like I think that's another thing. Like, you know, if sometimes I haven't written something, Chris will then start writing something. He'll send me an idea, and like all of a sudden the spark started, and that's it. And it's kind of like you're living in your own little bubble. You know what I mean? It's quite cool. But obviously, like I say, Chris was already in this band before. Like they'd started it. I started as a bass player, and then when Boots left, that's when I became the singer. So like what actually inspired us to start a band, I guess that was a follow on from what Chris used to do. I don't know if you want to explain that, Chris.
Yeah,
Your old band following it.
Yeah, I used to sing in a band called My Favorite Runner Up, and Boots actually joined our band as a guitarist, and it was me and him that opened the studio in Wales, and we loved like drive-through records, pop punk bands, and all the way back, you know, Mayday Parade, All American Rejects, like just bands like that. Obviously, Blink and The Starting Line and Finch. And like it was that kind of era, you know, and I think since then I've sort of fallen a bit more in love with riffs and like a bit of a different, darker sound to that stuff. But like I always wanted to play in a band, not even to get anywhere. I just love the feeling of, even if we're playing a show, and there's some people here in the Twitch chat that you know who you are. You're at the front, you're singing the lyrics back, and it's like, honestly, if you were the only person in that room singing the lyrics back, it just feels amazing. Like, there's no feeling in any job that beats that. Like the job I do as a tour manager and front of house engineer, I get a bit of that, to be honest. Like it, you know, the lights go down, the crowd make that noise, and then it's me cueing the lighting guy, like, and 3, 2, 1, go, and I'll pull the house music down. He'll do the blackout, and it's like, we did that. Me and you, mate. Me and you, what's your name again? Oh, Dave, yeah. All right, yeah, we did that. And then it's like, I get a bit of that feeling from touring with other bands, but there's still, it's nothing compared to this. And I think the reason why I always wanted to be in a band is from going to those shows when I was younger, the Starting Line shows, MXPX and all that, and just watching them on stage and thinking, that must feel amazing. Like, I'd love to be just there. And that was like, I went to see MXPX in the old Birmingham Carling Academy 3. You know, it's tiny. Do you remember that, Sean? The Carling Academy 3.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And it's like, but they're from the States, you know, like they've come across. And like I don't care if it's Carling Academy 3. And I don't care if we play Carling Academy 3 until we die. Like, it's amazing to have people there singing the lyrics back. And also, like, hearing the stories, like, we've now built this community around the band, you know, in the Discord channel, in the Lanterns Alliance. And like I mentioned, the Crank and Cult are the center of it, actually. And a lot of them have met because of us and because of our music. And I've met people because of other bands' music, and you know, relationships have formed. Like, people have fallen in love and stuff because of following the same band, and it's so cool to be a big part of that and have that effect on people's lives, because like other bands have had that effect on me, and it's nice to be able to do that myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's an amazing kind of story that because we haven't as yet as a band, because it's a weird story. We haven't performed together. We haven't seen each other live. Louis hasn't seen our drummer drum.
Yeah.
But
like
we want to give that energy on stage. We want to be just like, we don't even care if no one turns up. Well, we do, but if at least one person turns up and just screams back the lyrics, we'd be happy. We'd be, you know, happy as a band that we've had at least an effect on someone.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So going on from what you guys were saying, so when you were playing those sort of smaller shows, and you had that sort of it feels like you've got that sort of cult following, and it really feels like you're making connections to those people. So
Yeah.
I was just wondering, are there any particular shows that stick out in your mind of really feeling that? Because that seems to be, from what I've understood, correct me if I'm wrong, sort of your favorite part of this whole journey that you guys are going on.
Yeah. Any particular show?
You know which one. It's definitely Cardiff.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely
Here we go.
Cardiff.
On the way.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So on the Wasted Tour, we played a show in Cardiff. Do you remember what the venue was called?
Club Ivor Bach.
Yeah, that. Which is opposite
Done.
the one opposite Fuel Bar. That's all I. Yeah. So actually, we thought that it was going to be a better show than because we thought it was going to be an incredible show. It ended up being that, but our drummer went on stage and everyone just went absolutely berserk, and we were like, dude, like we were backstage, well, not really backstage. There was like some stairs near the fire exit.
The intro had started, so it was like, and our drummer walked out, didn't he? He walked around the corner, and we lost sight of him then. And then there was honestly the biggest fucking crowd roar you've ever heard in your life, and we were like, "Oh my god! Like what?" Like we were on second, weren't we? We were main support on that tour, and like we were thinking like, "What? What just happened?" And then you carry on, Sean. What happened then?
Well, we went with that energy, and I think that's what served us to play a really good show. Everybody absolutely loved it. There was mosh pits going on, crowd surfing, like it was absolutely, it went off completely. It was so good. But the roar that we heard backstage wasn't for us. Our drummer had fallen over, getting onto his donkey, like because there was an actual video of it that we watched after.
Oh, Christ.
But I think it's because we believed that was for us that gave us the confidence to be like, fucking, let's go and do this thing,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
There's a lot
and
to
you'd
be
be
said for that. Like it's so
there
weird.
is absolutely there is, yeah.
In here, it's actually in here.
Yeah.
Mad. Yeah,
It
that
is,
was
yeah.
a great show. That was an absolutely brilliant show. Yeah.
That one stands out to me, yeah. By the way, your Zoom meeting's going to
I'm
end in 7
literally
minutes.
gonna
50
upgrade it now.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
you'll have
there's
to
no
tell us
point.
how much that costs, because we.
No, don't worry about that.
No.
Don't.
We should have been doing this ages ago anyway.
Oh no, fuck that! I'm not
Yeah,
paying for
no.
yours. We want to do it.
Damn.
Tommy, you're so
Look,
dumb.
we're not
man.
that
You are
we're not
so
that
dumb.
nice. Jeez.
Oh no. Yeah, something like $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Oh really?
Yeah, so it's not that bad.
It's not bad.
What?
While we're on the subject of like shows and venues and stuff, are there any like venues that you're sort of hoping to play at some point?
Yes, Nottingham Rock City.
Yeah. That's
Ooh.
Any particular reason, or is that just
I've
straight
always
done?
loved it. Actually, there's two. For me personally, there's two. There's that room. I don't know why it's magical. Every show that I've been to there, and every show. I remember the first time I mixed a show there, man. I was like, what is going on? Can't remember. I think it was. Oh yeah, it was when Neck Deep rescheduled their show because there was that big. They had like a big fight
Right.
with the bouncers. And then Waster got the support, so I went and mixed Waster, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I remember the Neck Deep sound engineer had like taken up the center where the normal mixing console goes, so my console was sideways, so I was like mixing like. But I just thought this is so cool. And then the other venue is the first ever club show I went to was Newfound Glory and Yellowcard in Kentish Town Forum in London, and again, first show I mixed there, I was like, this is goals. This is literally like something I've really wanted to do for ages, and to play that is a major aspiration of mine. Like that would be amazing.
Any particular ones for you, Sean?
Probably the same, just because it'd mean a lot to Chris. For me, it's kind of like for me. It's venues don't matter as much to me. It's that if it's a total Chris thing. This is like to actually want to play a particular venue because of the acoustic surroundings. Like it's so Chris. Like for me, it's like I'll look at a venue and I could be a snob about it and just be like, really. Like the one in, see, do you remember the venue that we played in Berlin? And it was like, I went in and it literally looked like a working men's club. And I was like, I'm sure it'll be great because I mean, we were supporting Normandy. Like their crowds are like incredible. I was just like, okay, this is a working men's club. Like it literally felt like we were back in our cover band.
The only reason it felt like that though is because there was like a red velvet curtain behind the stage. Which,
But an incredible show, and an incredible venue, and the sound woman was brilliant there. Like the best sound that we'd had the whole tour.
So it's going more to the opposite of that, sort of looking at the maybe some of the funnier sides of maybe shows that didn't go quite as well. Are there any that particularly stick in your mind for not the best reasons?
So not okay. So it's not Led by Lanterns, but to fund Led by Lanterns, we started a cover band called the Cassettes. It's ended now, thank God. That's over. Jesus Christ. But we actually did all right. Got signed to an agency, got a lot of work, played a lot of holiday parks, and some really weird places. Oh, this meeting has been upgraded by the host.
You did that just in time. I was literally looking at the timer going down, and your face was just like.
I was just trying to get it done.
Mission Impossible music.
Oh dear.
Right, congratulations. Welcome to
Well
Zoom.
done, yeah. Nice one. Yeah, there.
Well done,
Pro
Tommy.
podcast.
Something we should probably think about.
Yeah.
It turns out it was more money than I expected, so whew.
It's all right.
Oh well. I can cancel it and just say it's
It's
wrong.
fine.
Oh.
Big brain. Just outsmart them.
So to make your money back, I recommend starting a cover band. We've got some great contacts within an agency I could put you forward for if you want. If you want to play some holiday parks.
What would
put
we
me in
even
contact.
cover? Like,
I reckon we should just go full on, just 80s glam.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Probably
Absolutely. go for it.
wouldn't go down too bad actually. To be fair, some of the places that we played, yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't do what Chris did.
What did Chris do? Oh, come on. You're in it
You've
now.
got to say it now.
You're in it now.
So holiday parks, family environment filled with children and parents, and we do stupid things like Sean getting kids to do this for an hour and a half non-stop.
oh no.
Yeah, the dad actually picked up the kid and was just like, "That's enough, guys. Like this is a joke." Literally picked up the kid and was like, "We're out of here!" Like, and I was like, "Wow!"
Oh,
Like, because the
shit.
kids couldn't feel their fingers. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that. I mean, that was another shit show. But
That's a different story. But, and our drummer at the time, we're three pieces as a cover band. So there's me and Sean. We swap bass guitar and acoustic guitar. We both sing, and then for one song, well, actually two songs, our drummer Brad got up and he went and played acoustic guitar, and I went and played the drums. And when he went and sat back down, there was this show probably had about 600 people.
Whoa.
Something like that,
Wow.
600
Pretty
people.
decent.
And
Large.
like tons of kids at the front, like and all dancing, like "Way, band music." And I went, "Oh, give it up for Brad, our drummer. He's getting more and more confident coming up and singing and playing guitar each time. One more time, let's hear it for Brad. We fucking love him."
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
You've never seen 600 people go so silent.
yeah, dude, literally, it was so bad. Like, and there's one thing that I can't do is I can't be put on the spot. If sometimes Chris has done that, I'm getting better at it now. But Chris, like, he used to say, "Sean, just say something while I sort out this technical issue," and I'm like, "Hello," it's just like really awkward for me. But this time, I really felt like I needed to be there for Chris because Chris had royally fucked up, and I was like, okay, no, we need to sort. Like, I was like, okay, let's just get rid of everybody's attention because everybody went silent. Literally, the kids knew that it was wrong because the kids was just like, literally. And I was
honestly, right, when you're when they're in a holiday park, not everybody's watching the band, right?
No.
Some of them are sat at tables, some of them are eating, they're all chatting, but not at this moment, man. Like anybody in that room, including the staff in Papa John's Pizza at the back, literally, they turned the ovens off to stare at me.
Literally, it was like
Oh,
something
dear.
from a movie, and I thought the only way I need to say something. Just my brain was just going, Sean, say something. Sean, say something, because Chris is never lost for words, and he never just doesn't say anything. So I was just like, okay, Chris is in trouble. This is serious. Okay, so I leant into my microphone and just went, "Oh boy!" Like, and I realized that makes things so much worse. And then I was like, what do I say now? And everybody that thought, did he say that? And then I went, oh boy. Everyone was like, he did say that.
I feel like
Oh.
there's never a right time to fake a heart attack, but I feel like that would have been a better idea in the circumstances.
So bad. It makes me, honestly, it makes me so anxious just thinking about that moment. You're right. Sean's right. I couldn't get anything out of me. Like, I literally was just staring at everyone, staring at me, and my brain was going, fuck. And then he goes, oh boy. Like, no!
Of all the things you
I
could
think
say.
I went, anyway, this is, and then we start whatever the next, can't remember what the next song was.
Yeah.
Keep calm and carry on.
Oh, God.
It was too late for that.
That was the
dear.
worst moment by far.
That is
man.
absolutely fantastic. I don't think we're gonna get another one that tops that. That is absolutely brilliant.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's the title, swearing at kids.
But yeah,
No.
I think you just call
Great
it Oh Boy.
content. Great content.
Yeah.
Moving on swiftly.
Moving on to something that might make you feel a little bit better about remembering. Did you guys have any standout releases, either by yourselves or maybe some other bands during 2020 what were your favorites? What were your highlights? Either releases from yourselves or other artists?
During 2020.
2020.
Well, for us, it was Down. That we were looking forward to Down, to releasing Down for so long. Like, in our minds, it was like a cut above the rest of a song. Like, just for its, you just that, you know.
Yeah.
And it really, really did well. Like, better than we thought it would do, and we released it in December, which normally doesn't go so well because everyone's just thinking about Christmas. And I think it really surprised us in a great way. So for our music, I'd say Down.
It's hard to actually think of 2020 for releases because I'm thinking, was it 2019? Was it 2021? Like, is it just coming? Like, because obviously I want to say Trash Boat, He's So Good, but that was 2021.
That was this year,
Yeah, I think 2020 for me personally, it might be a generic, but Bring Me the Horizon, One by One by Bring Me the Horizon was like
Fantastic.
during 2020. I started going to the gym because that was pretty much the only thing that you can do, and it's like only 5 minutes down the road. So I was listening to a lot of stuff like that, and One by One by Bring Me the Horizon was it. It was the song that I had on repeat probably the most during 2020. And I'm like 99% sure that did come out in 2020.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came out over summer, didn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that?
So it was more towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I think it's towards the end of the year. I know it came out last year because I put it in my top 10. So
It was
Yeah.
definitely 2020. Yeah, yeah. I think pretty much everyone can agree that you either have you've got a few songs from that album that are just absolute belters.
Yeah.
But now let's go to the opposite. What's kind of the least favorite kind of release that you've like kind of had, and if you could like rework it or kind of adapt it to your style now, which song would that be?
Well,
I mean, we did actually have a song, didn't we, that we took down? It was called Somewhere Else. Was that what you was going to say, Chris?
that is what I was going to say. Yeah. That is what I was going to say.
It was just a little. That was a long time ago. There wasn't it? Like we've actually vowed never to make that same mistake again. Because what happened is when you haven't released something for a while, you get in a panic. And my biggest advice, obviously going forward as a band, is to anybody would be to just start doing things like now, for like a long. Catacombs was written a long time ago. Like a long time ago, and a lot of the songs were written a long time ago. But it's just like, if you don't release anything for a while, you kind of get yourself into a panic, and you will release the next song that you write, and that's just the way that. But we did that with
The
us.
justice for somewhere else has
I
been.
know there's a few people that do actually like this song, and we took it down, and they weren't best pleased. But we just thought it was a little bit slow. We should put it in the Lanterns Alliance if we still got it, Chris. But we just released the next song that we wrote, and it was an okay song, but it wasn't. It was quite clearly the worst song on the EP. Like for us, we just felt like it was, and live it just felt very sluggish and slow. And now, whenever we write a song, it's like, okay, are we 100% happy? Like we are more picky now, like probably overly picky in some instances now than what we ever have been. And that's, I think releasing a song that you're not entirely proud of it'll teach you a lesson if you live to regret anything that you've put out in the world. I think you will learn.
The same goes to any part in that song. Like if you think when you first listen to it,
even more so, yeah.
That vocal's a little bit out of time, and if you then think, fuck it, you'll never forget it. You'll always hear it forever until you die. So it's like fix the part, just sort the part out. Like that's my best. You know, if there's a tiny bit of a guitar ring out that's too long, or a little hiss on the track where your gain was too high before you started, like unless that's an intentional thing, like just like Sean said, be picky. Honestly, like the best. You know, you want to listen back to a song in 20 years that you've released now and think, I'm still proud of that. Like.
I actually did that. I actually did that with my old band. Like, we went to a studio in Birmingham, and we were being recorded by an incredible producer. But his name was Andy something. Can't remember what his last name is. It literally so long ago, I can't remember. But I remember listening to the whole mix, and his snare was just. It was like so loud over everything, and I was just like, "He'll fix that in a minute." Like. He'll fix that in a minute. Like literally, it was like a gunshot. Like the kick was great, everything was great, but the snare was just like so there. Like the mix was here and the snare was there, and it was just like, okay, he'll sort that out in a minute. I never said anything. Literally, we did a whole EP, and every song on that EP, it's like, and I listen to it now, and if it weren't for that snare, I would have been more proud of those songs than what I am. I was just like, that's all I hear now. I don't hear the songs. I just hear that fucking snare that I never said anything about. He went, he turned around and went, is this sounding good for you guys? And I sat there like a gobshite and went,
yeah. I feel like there's a bit of pressure, isn't there? Sort of when you're working in a band, and say you're recording with someone, and you think that this person recording you is fantastic, amazing what they do, and you don't feel like that you have the authority or something to question them and do those choices. But I think one of the best things I could say to anyone doing it is, if you're writing songs, they are your songs when you're writing them. Like if it doesn't sound right to you, it doesn't matter if it's technically like wrong or whatever. If you like the sound, go for that.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a balance between that. Like you are totally right. Like it's better to be that way. But one thing I have learned is to really take into consideration what somebody is saying. Like Chris has said things to me, and I'm like, "You having a laugh?" But like, what do you mean? What do you mean? like no. Recently, so I done a live performance of Alive for the Patreon that we've got going on, and Chris replies with, "It's a little bit out of time," and it's just like, in my mind, I was just like, but it's live, it's live. He's like, "Can you not just shift your vocals over a little bit?" I'm like, okay. And then I sent it again. I was like, does this sound okay? And he was like, and I was like, oh, like it's fine. And then but if I was too stubborn, if I was like, well, look, this is my live performance, I wouldn't have gone. I've listened to it now. The first one that I did was out of time. Like I had like, it's sometimes you can be so caught up in like your own process that like if somebody says something, you're like, fuck off. And you just want to do your own thing. Yeah.
Oh man.
I was finding that balance. Yeah.
also that goes just you can say that about sections of songs as well. Like another thing I'd say, remember the song as a whole. Like
Yeah.
the amount of times I've gone it, I've been working on a song and I've just gone right, middle eight time, and then I've just put the loop on the middle eight, and only listen to the middle eight. I've done so much
worst
stuff
thing you
to
can
it.
do.
Yeah, done so much stuff to it, changed the chords, put loads of layers on, time aligned everything, tuned everything. Yeah, job's done. Let's play it from the chorus. And then it's like, what is going on?
It can be like da 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 da, and then the bridge comes up da da da. And you're like, well, that doesn't work at all. That's the worst. Chris, you've nailed it there. That is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Is think of a song in sections. It's like literally it does not work.
Oh, and you can hear bands release songs where you can tell they've done that, and it's like where, for example, the song just doesn't build. Like the first verse and the second verse are exactly the same. The first two choruses are exactly the same because they've thought of it. Yeah, sick chorus, sick verse, and then by themselves, yeah, they're not wrong. Like it's a great chorus, it's a great verse, but the song as a whole doesn't build because it's just exactly the same. It's like now, I mean, you guys know it's like add something, build something. It's a story you're telling throughout the song. Like you need to take people somewhere, and like even if it's the same somewhere, even if it's verse lower than chorus, big chorus, another dip for verse, big chorus, middle eight, little dropout before the last chorus, and then and like even if that's the standard journey that nearly everyone does in pop music, and it's like that works because it does take you on a journey, whereas you can hear releases where they haven't thought about that at all. They've just thought, I've got a good riff, and the riff never ends.
Yeah, it just becomes like a riff salad, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Riff salad's
people
the
who
worst.
people who tried to be Rage Against the Machine but aren't Rage Against the Machine, basically. Well, no. What I mean is, Rage Against the Machine were absolutely incredible. They were the guys,
you
best riffs of all time, according to me.
Exactly. I don't know how. Well, they pulled that off because of the absolute lyrical genius. That's how. Like the lyrics took you on the journey. The music didn't have to. Like the riff was like for the whole song, and then the bass in the verse.
Yeah.
But like there's so much passion in the vocal performance alone in those that you don't need the music to change. The song's still taking you on a journey. You know what I mean?
Well, they were sort of the pioneers. Well, not pioneers, obviously. It's been going back for hundreds, maybe probably thousands of years in music. But they just had. If you really have something to say, and you make sure you say what you're trying to say, then you're onto a winner already. I mean, this is actually one of the pet peeves of mine, is when you hear songs where people have chosen a subject to write about, but clearly have nothing to say about it. They'll take something that's sort of popular at the time, so they'll take some sort of concept and they'll just sort of talk about it without really trying to say anything. And honestly, that's a pet peeve of mine, which I think I sort of picked up from listening to bands like Rage Against the Machine, where every song was definitely something that they were passionate about and really wanted to say something to the people for.
That's actually one of the issues. Like I do like the New Architects album. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But I feel like in some of the songs, it seems like he's vocal wise has just written what people want to hear rather than his like deeper thoughts on the matter. It's like a lot of the sort of the lyrics he uses just gloss. They just gloss over it, And I liked Architects because that wasn't what they did, and I still love it. I think each song is still a great song. They are very similar though in that album. I don't know if you've listened to the New Architects album. It's kind of like they're great songs, but they're kind of the same song. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I would even go as far as to say that it is a very good album. As a piece of music, which is however long it is, sort of like 45 minutes, 50 minutes long, 45, 50 minutes of music, the music is all done fantastically well. And it's done brilliantly. But I had the same sort of drawbacks.
I feel like I haven't listened to it enough though to have a full conclusion on it. Definitely, and maybe my opinion might change, but I loved Animals when it came out. I loved it, and it's weird because I think Sean, you even said like it's weird how they've made that riff sound that good because those kind of riffs like it's like you could write that when you're in school, but somehow they've made that sound amazing in that song, and it's like and it's like they pull that off somehow, and they pull that off throughout this album. You're right, the music does do that throughout this album. I don't know how.
If that song was written 10 years ago, it'd go dun 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 dun, like it'd be exactly the same, but you'd have like you'd have like a riff going over it. Like it's like it's the new thing is it's to be very simple. Just if you can go do like it's a good song. Like like it can get too complicated. I think there's some bands that do complicated very, very well. I think While She Sleeps are a very good example of complicated guitar riffs. It's just like,
man.
yeah, if you're gonna do
how he does what he does, it's
literally if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna dick swing, make sure you got a big dick.
If you're gonna dick swing, make
one way
sure
to
you're
put
Sean
it.
Long, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and they definitely, they've got that dick, they can swing, and it's like, they are doing it right, but I think you can't half-arse it.
That's your best quote so far this year, Sean. If you're gonna dick swing, make sure you've got the dick to swing.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's been my mistake in the past.
So as a band, obviously you've toured with Waster and Normandy. Is there any kind of festivals or kind of your dream goals? Like, what do you want to reach by either the end of 2021 or kind of when
Oh, by the end of 2021 is hard because we're already coming up on a quarter into that year, and we know we've got our tour booked in July that might happen if the roadmap it stays on track. I don't know, but we know we've got that. We know we've got an album to release, but beyond that, we're trying to sort out a Europe tour, but also Brexit. So 2021 is a tough one, but I feel like to answer your question further on in the future, definitely Slam Dunk.
Oh yeah.
I did actually play Slam Dunk with my old band, but we only played it because we won a competition. So it doesn't feel like, and we were the first on the smaller stage. So it doesn't like, yes, I have played Slam Dunk Festival, but like it didn't feel like it. And I would love to actually be sent an offer and accept that offer to play Slam Dunk. Even if he offered, JD, if you're listening, just 50p. 50p is our guarantee.
Well, I'm sure this will go worldwide, so we'll got you there. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We thought it would, yeah.
Either way,
We definitely need to edit that bit out.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're probably gonna get cancelled. That's how we're gonna get famous.
There we go.
But
Publicity, isn't it?
specifically, you guys are obviously an amazing band. Is there any kind of lineups
Thanks, man.
that you want to you dream to be? So is there any bands that you would love to perform with and kind of either tour with or just play for one show? Like a whole lineup.
What's the biggest one? Like I don't know, like
Could say Bring Me, but like
yeah, it's like it just seems easy pickings, doesn't it, to just say Bring Me after every question. Yeah, like
I'd like to play with Sleeps, to be honest.
Actually now with the Lanterns Alliance.
Yeah,
and
like
the
so
Sleep
obviously,
Society.
yeah, the Sleep Society really influenced our decision on starting the Lanterns Alliance. It's the same thing, just a different band. And what's really nice is they supported us when we started sharing up like promotional video when we launched it. They shared it, and now literally 2 days ago they've joined our Lanterns Alliance. Like While She Sleeps have joined.
Wow.
So it's like I feel like it would be so cool to get like a lineup of bands that are following this new model. Do you know what I mean? And have like a show. And I know Loz has booked shows before. I've actually he booked You were there as well, Sean. It was your birthday.
Yeah,
Loz put on
festival. Yeah.
a festival in Sheffield called Festival, and Trash Boat were playing. So I was tour managing and mixing Trash Boat, and Sean came along because it was his birthday, and we thought, oh, night out incorporation afterwards, boys, yeah, boy. And then Sean woke up in cat food up his nose.
Yeah. Do you know the jelly of cat food?
Oh,
It was literally right up. It was like up my
Oh,
nose. Yeah. Yeah.
Now we have to know that story. What happened there?
I fell asleep in cat food. That's what happened. And next to a draft. I can't remember who I slept. I slept next to one of the guys in Trash Boat, and I don't know who it was, but he cuddled me, and I tried to move away, and then Dan, yeah, started cuddling me, like literally whispering to me like he was definitely asleep because that was not a joke.
He does, honestly, Sean. He does. There's a radius. With Dan.
Is it? Yeah, I was sleeping right next to him, so nobody fucking told me this. You know, we were sleeping on the floor on like little air beds and stuff, and Jen and Martin, who we were staying with at the time.
Jen is actually led by Jen in chat.
Chat, yeah.
Martin is Chipocalypse. They're both here.
Yeah,
both
and
here.
they have a cat. Yeah. They have a cat, or at least I hope they have a cat because they've got cat food there for some reason. But we, I just rolled over and the cat food went up my nose. And literally, that was the worst hangover. Well, second worst hangover I've ever had in my life. It has been beaten since, but.
But anyway, the whole story happened because I was talking about Loz did put on that festival.
Yeah.
So I think it would be really cool if Loz was to do a similar thing, put on a festival featuring Sleeps and featuring us, please, Loz, thanks, and any other bands
support.
any other bands that are doing this. You know, there are a few. There are a few now.
So you've collabed with Toby Duncan from Trash Boat, well, which obviously with the live, which was like wow. Is there any other artists like kind of that you'd love to have on your song or like collab with?
Wow.
Oh. Oh.
Well, we do have one on a song that is untalkable about this time.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I've known this person for a while, and I've always wanted to get them involved, and it's nice to have them on a song. But as far as other people go, I know what's his name, Beartooth Man.
Caleb Shomo.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
What a guy.
That would be fucking literally. How cool would that be? Imagine him coming out of nowhere on a middle eight. Oh boy.
Yeah. So I think for me, because I grew up listening to Sleeping with Sirens quite a lot, I think probably, actually, Burt McCracken, fuck it, yeah, either Kellen Quinn or Burt McCracken from The Used. I think Burt McCracken would probably be my top. Well, fuck it, let's go whole hog. Gerard Way probably be number one. Let's be honest. But that is like totally not achievable. But I think possibly Kellen Quinn, because I know that they've started up a company where you can pay a lot of money, I think, for a feature with Kellen Quinn, and
Lizzie,
and I think actually
Lizzie
Lizzie Farrell's on there, yeah, which is really cool. And you know what, I'd absolutely love to get on that, but I think that's definitely something after we've released an album. I don't think that it's like it's like Sean Who, like it's just let's get our foot through the door actually in the music industry. And I think the reason why we wanted to do an album was because I feel like that's what it takes to get your foot in, like to get actually noticed by people that you wouldn't have otherwise got noticed by, is if you have an album, because then you have a product, you have a brand then. So I'd love to feature on other songs actually, like that's probably more of a dream of mine than actually getting somebody to sing on our songs. And I'd love to help other people.
Not trance songs, no?
Yeah, I've done a few dance songs, yeah. I've done a few trancey songs, which was cool. But
it is a controversial one, because obviously you've got all your oh my god, I can't think of the word at the moment. You've got all your idols, so you love Bring Me the Horizon, but who are your guilty pleasures? So for me, it'll be Take That. Oh, okay. I want to know.
Good one.
Oh, It's a good
Go on
one.
then, Chris. Do you know? Have you got any guilty
Dude,
pleasures?
I worked 3 Take That shows, and they were the best.
Yeah.
Shit.
Honestly,
Now I'm
holy shit!
jealous.
Have you been to watch them live? Have you seen them live?
No, I want to
Dude,
though.
the best production, like physical, viewable production you have ever seen in your life.
The
Oh
circus and
my
everything.
God. It was, yeah. Oh my God, you don't know where to look. It was a 2-day build just to build the fucking stage because the stage was like telescopic. It came out in layers, and there was, I don't even know how they did it. There was a drum kit in the top, inside the top bit, and one of them did a drum solo randomly. Didn't even know he played the drums.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Anyway,
That's amazing.
yeah, dude, go and watch Take That. Literally, it's worth the money. I think the tickets are ridiculously expensive, but it's totally worth it. And they had a rain machine that was raining animated graphics. Like
What?
Wow.
the computer was controlling all the tiny valves that were dropping the raindrops. So it was dropping
Jesus.
like a man was running made out of rain. Like it was insane.
Insane.
I'd never seen anything like that.
What? I didn't even know people could do that.
Yeah, neither did I. And it's like special rain, and we had to fill the tanks up. It's like this UV rain, so they shine UV lights on it. So like it's super illuminated Running Man, but it's actually made out of water. Actually insane. Anyway,
Wow.
That is
guilty
insanely
pleasures,
cool.
country music,
Ooh.
Oh, really?
like Zach Brown Band from the States, like
Yeah.
incredible band.
I feel like good country music's not really a guilty pleasure though.
I don't
No,
know.
I don't think it is anymore. Like, you know, listening to country music for a few years now, I think like, you know, a lot of the bands that are coming out now, like there's a lot of people that have heard of Florida Georgia Line now, like, and that they weren't like a massive band, but there's loads of UK artists that are coming out in the country scene as well. Like the Shires, like they sound like Lady Antebellum, but like, in my opinion, actually better. And they're like from somewhere. I don't know where they're from, but like they're from, like there's a lot of UK and I think Ward Thomas as well. That's like another country artist, like 2 girls that sing together. They're from the UK, and the scene for the like I think there's a festival that I really want to go to when the lockdown, like me and my girlfriend want to go to. It's called Boots and Buckles, and like there's loads of like really cool country.
Absolutely brilliant name.
Yeah,
for a country.
Boots and Buckles, yeah, and it's like a really cool country festival thing that. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think that is a guilty pleasure anymore. I think what is a guilty pleasure is Miley Cyrus's second album,
Really?
or Hannah Montana's second album. It's fucking so good. Literally, have you heard it? Like,
And this
literally,
this
when
is
I
what
listen to it,
this is what I wrote in our bio: riffs with boy band vocals, because I know where your inspiration lies, Sean.
oh man, literally anything like that. Like, I absolutely like adored. I mean, I know yours was Taylor Swift, Chris, because you like Hey Stephen and stuff. Hannah Montana for me, that was like second album, was absolutely incredible. I was mad for the Jonas Brothers when they were like about, you know. I don't know how long you got.
Digi Dougie or Diggy Dougie has written like Chicken Fried or less popular Zach Brown band, and I would say I discovered them because of Chicken Fried, because my mate was like, "This song's hilarious. It's about fried chicken," and then I discovered real Zach Brown band, and they're honestly great, absolutely brilliant. The production is amazing. I think what's his Dave Grohl produced their stuff.
Really?
And like,
Oh really?
yeah, and it's like
Damn.
some of the best. I use one of their songs called "Jump Right In." I use it as my song to tune PA systems because the production is just like it exposes any issues, like because the vocals are so present. If there's problems in that frequency, it shows it. The bass is so well there that it shows any issues in the low end. So I can just play that song, and not only does it help me tune it, but it cheers everyone up. Because it's like, you can jump right in. Let the music go. It's like really.
It does
really
for the
uplifting.
first week. It does.
No, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It kind of. I've obviously heard it a million times, but that's
Literally.
but that's why it's good for me to tune with, because I know how it sounds. I know that.
Joe from Mallory Knox, every time you played this song, he literally just went, for fuck's sake. Like,
It's so loud as well. You got to play it at like maximum concert volume to get the you know what I mean, to really test that PA system out. So like everyone's just like, fuck. In middle of a conversation, I'm like,
good job, Brady.
Does that mean that there's a Hannah Montana pop punk version maybe coming?
Oh, I think we're. Oh,
The chat
no.
won it.
The
I
chat
think
won
we'll
it.
just ruin it.
The
We'll
Alliance
just
won
ruin
it.
We will just ruin it.
I don't.
No, literally, no, you cannot make that any better. Like you could probably get a better guitar tone because that literally is like so computerized because it's like rock. Oh,
Oh,
and that's how you interrupt
Christ.
everybody's conversation by doing that every day. It's great.
okay.
And copyright strike.
Yeah, there you go. That was
the
it.
MCA.
You can't get a copyright strike from that length. Come on.
Nah.
I hope so.
Right, before we move into our next section, which is kind of it's a fun one. The only thing that I want to know. Oh my god, I've lost it. Wait. Wait.
You do this a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell it's the first one.
I've literally forgot what I was gonna say.
That's hilarious. Like it's so funny when this
Oh.
happens. It's so funny when this happens to other people. Like I love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you gotta get.
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta
no.
get
I got it. Right. Okay. So we took it from another podcast that we love, the Scratch Records, and it's just that name an up and coming bands. So if you have any up and coming bands that you like, kind of have listened to and like don't have the attention they deserve, like who do you think it would be in personal taste?
Happy Days?
That's sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
New bands. See, it's hard because like we're so out of the circle now because we literally haven't, and we've been the first band to open for a long time. Like we're literally gone from that to them doing like a headline tour.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, we've-
the Uma are sick. They open
Oh.
on the way to talk. Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Help us out.
The Uma.
Help us out. It is.
The
It,
Uma.
it is hard because look at that photo.
Look
of
at
Louis.
that.
Oh.
Oh, you can tell who the professional.
Sorry, my bad.
Oh, did,
That was
do we all
actually-
get to do that? Have I got a cool photo that I can show you? Hang on,
That
come on.
wasn't a mistake. That wasn't a mistake.
Fun facts. That was actually taken on my phone's selfie camera in my room.
Can you
and
do it
there were-
again?
there
Can you
were
show
no-
us it again?
Yeah, absolutely. There were no
Oh.
coloured lights, and I only used free photo editing software. So anyone who has a window can do this photo if they look hard enough and spend enough time not doing university assignments.
Oh.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
I know I'm completely catfishing. I'm very sorry to go back to the video, but
I feel guilty now. I think mine is. What's mine? Oh, mine's my name.
It's nothing.
oh, come on.
I don't even know.
I'll
How
turn it right back on.
What?
Yeah,
what's
mine's-
mine?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Professional one.
Oh.
Just like two of us.
shit!
Do you
mine-
know?
I did have one. I don't know what it's called.
Do you know? That was because that picture here was because I actually just bought that jacket. That jacket cost me £400 and I never wear it. Literally, yeah. And literally, me and Boots, our old singer, we went out to buy some leather jackets together. I don't know why. Literally, it was like, what a weird thing to do with your friend. Like, should we go out and buy some leather jackets? Well, we did. And I went to All Saints, fell in love with it, bought it. And then Boots was like, literally, Boots was gonna buy one, and he didn't. It was like, let's buy one from All Saints, and I then paid for mine, and Boots was like, it's a bit expensive, isn't it? I was like, dude, you're kidding. And I remember like he went to TK Maxx and bought one, literally, and it was really good for 70 quid.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
That hurts.
It hurts,
But,
but
you
TK
know-
Maxx do bargain.
I
So.
got
on
the
that.
jacket.
as well.
I
then.
did, yeah. I got a little bit of paint on it, yeah. Fuck, you know. I did. I got a little bit of paint, but you know, there was. What's an interesting story about that? The day I bought that jacket was I actually dropped my wallet, and it was kind of like a sign not to be stupid with my money. I don't know. I kind of took it that way, but I had I dropped my wallet somewhere in Birmingham, and literally I was walking down, and when I realised I'd lost my wallet, there was £20 in that wallet, but had all my cards in, and I was looking through my bags, and I was like, shit, where is it? Like literally couldn't find it. Down the road was a man running. It was literally a homeless man was running towards me with my wallet, and I was like, I grabbed my wallet, and obviously I had to check see if my money was in there. So I checked. Literally, the 20 quid was in there. Like, and this homeless man who had absolutely nothing, like, gave me my wallet. All my cards were in there. My money was in there, and I was just like, dude, literally, I just took the 20 quid out and gave the homeless. And literally, when I ever tell this story, I'm like, that 20 quid was the best thing I spent. Although he did buy like super Kestrel beer with it, but whatever, he can do what he wants with it. But like,
he deserves
the moral of the story is just don't be stupid with your money, man. Like literally, it was just, it was kind of a sign. So I've never spent that kind of money. Like everything's Primark.
I'm
everything.
I'm H&M the whole way, but only the
sales. That's a cut above. I respect you for that.
Only the sales. You know those racks where they have the amount that you're spending, and then
they have a section.
Unreal.
For us people, have you seen it? There is a section where it's like ripped jeans, plaid t-shirts. It's literally for us.
Oh, amazing!
I love all the graphic stuff.
Bad trip down there.
Like they'll just chuck like a Pokemon graphic on something, and I'm like, oh, I've got to buy it.
Oh yeah,
a Pokemon on it. Like,
okay,
I miss shopping, man.
Might be about ready to.
Yes.
We're gonna move on to another interesting section. Also, this is something where we have slightly tweaked some things, but it is also something else that me and Tommy answered ourselves similar situations when we were on the Scratch Record podcast. So thank you to those guys for giving us all of our ideas. You guys the best. So I'm going to give you guys some questions or situations, and you've got to choose between yourself and the rest of the band. Who you think would be most likely to or least likely to, whatever the given situation. So my first one is just quite an easy one. Who in the band do you reckon has the worst lockdown trim?
Chris cut his own hair. He literally cut his own hair, and it was literally the worst thing. Chris, I literally... have you still got a picture of that?
No, that was in first lockdown. Yeah, to be fair, I literally was like with the clippers trying to cut my hair, and it felt like I was following a gradient, but I feel like in reality I was going. So I had like all this hair that ended here and then just cut in like an inch and then went down.
It literally looked like he's had his hair cut with a knife and fork. It was like horrendous.
Oh, fantastic! To be fair, I feel like if you haven't had a absolutely awful haircut in the last year, you have not made the most.
Yeah, I remember while I was doing it, Lizzie Farrell walked into the bathroom, and I was just there like, and there was like hair all over the floor, and I looked like this crazy guy like with this hair all over the place, like cutting my hair, and she was like, "Chris, are you okay?" I'm just trying.
He just looked like he was having a Britney Spears moment. Just like, fuck this shit!
I feel like that's a pretty certified one. I'm guessing you all agreed on that. So now sorry about that. So we're going to kick it up a notch. I'm going to give you a little situation now, and we're going to see what you think of it. So imagine the entire band is somehow stranded in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You're all on quite a large rubber dinghy. It's not like the dinghy's going to burst anytime soon, but you are screwed, basically. On this rubber dinghy, there's one box, and you look in the box, and there's a single flare gun. Who in the band would be the person who's the person you least want to be holding that flare gun?
Well, Rob, for a start. I feel like he would just go, "Oh, a flare gun."
Yeah, I think if Rob's got any battery left on his phone, he would record that flare going into the air for content.
That's a very optimistic look. You have to applaud that. If he's
It'd
looking
be
for
like,
content,
how many views
mad.
How many views would I get if I burst this raft with this flare gun? You know.
At a certain point, you have to respect that. Plus, I like that you don't think anyone in the band is using the flare gun for anything malicious. That's nice to hear.
Oh yeah, no murdering going on. Just TikTok views.
You
Okay.
gotta respect the hustle.
You have got to respect the hustle. Everyone's got to respect the hustle.
We do. We literally. He's done so well on TikTok. I don't know if you've actually looked him up or whatever, but
I think I came across
literally-
him.
He was on TikTok for like a month and got 7,000 followers, and now it's like I don't know how he's done it. He's literally nailed TikTok. And we had a meeting, and we were like, Rob, how? Tell us how. And then he told Sean how to do something, and Sean was like, okay, I'll give it a go. Uploaded one video, got bored, never did anything again.
That is
Yeah.
the normal way.
Yeah, just it was too much. Yeah.
It's too much for me. Like now we've gone like, Rob, take ownership of the band account. You can and, he hasn't done anything because it doesn't get him more.
Only using it for personal use, yeah.
He's just slowly becoming a TikToker, moving out
It's
of the band
funny
scene.
because instead of the band TikTok getting him more followers, his TikTok is literally getting the band
The
more
band more
followers, which
followers.
I'm very grateful for. By the way, like he's done some nice TikToks saying like, oh, shout out to my own band, and played a bit of songs, and the comments are amazing. They're like all people discovering us for the first time because of his TikTok. So fair play to the boy. Like he literally has nailed that algorithm. It really works.
Well done to the man.
Mm.
I've got another one, which is going to be an interesting one. So, you've all gone on holiday together, and as you would on holiday, the band's out. You're not on tour. Don't worry. You're not waking up for anything anytime soon. You've gone on holiday and you've had several jars. You're feeling a little bit wavy, and then the waviness comes to a crashing end with you being absolutely 100% blackout drunk. You wake up the next morning. Who is the person most likely to have a new tattoo or piercing from the night before?
Probably Rob, wouldn't it? Because it'd be great content.
I guess.
If his content is Rob.
I think you're probably right. I think I would go through the stages. I think it would be a good idea. I'd probably go to the place, but then I'd be like, logic is a thing. No.
Oh dear.
I feel like Sean would go, like, if anyone goes, Sean, let's go get tattoos, he'd go, no.
That's fair enough.
Is there a bar at the tattoo parlor? Because if there's not, like, I'm not going there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm staying where there's drink. So,
Following the drinks,
Snake.
that's a good shout.
If you were to say to Snake, like, guy, this is what we're doing, like, this is a good idea, he'd go, okay, all right, yeah, we'll do that.
actually, like, no, because like Snake doesn't drink. I might need to change my answer. 'Cause Snake doesn't drink, and I think it'd be Snake because Snake did do this, didn't he? He organised everybody to get an LBL tattoo,
True.
and then none of us had it. He literally organised a guy to come, and none of us had it, and it was literally like Snake was just like, "Sorry, dude, just me." Then, and then like he literally got like a fucking tattoo done. I think it'd be Snake because Snake doesn't drink, but I think when he
I did get one in the end. I got the L.
It's somewhere.
I did get a lantern.
A
as
musician, not a gymnast.
well. I did get
Chris
a lantern.
took the L.
I can't do that. I can't show this lantern properly. Jesus Christ, this is harder than I've ever thought in my life. There's a lantern there somewhere.
It's pretty cool. I like
Bloody
that.
hell.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
Rob would go live on TikTok for that. Yeah, nice one, Lara. You're right, 100% right.
Okay, I feel like I'm gonna give you one more, and I'm gonna just really hope that this one wouldn't be used for content. So
I really hope
you're all individually stranded in the Australian outback. So obviously,
G'day, mate.
hot is a slight understatement, and fucked is another massive understatement. My question to you is, who would be the first person to resort to drinking their urine, and how long do you give that person before that happens?
Do you know, It might be me.
Is that just out of general curiosity?
would
If you're out
just
there, you just
know.
get bored and you think, oh,
It's
It's
maybe.
between you and Snake. It's
I'd-
between you and Snake for
I
me.
feel like I would obviously you'd start getting dehydrated and you'd think like shit, this is bad. And I feel like I would logically think it like it does work a bit. You do actually recycle the I literally this is what I would be thinking. I'm thinking like, oh, I know like a lot of the content of it isn't good for you, but like there is water in it and we do need water. So like I'll just do it.
Dude, it'd 100% be Chris. Like I've seen him do it on tour, let alone in the middle of nowhere. Like, no, I'm joking.
I didn't say what.
I was gonna say there wasn't much logic behind that one, was there?
Told you never to tell anyone, Sean.
Yeah, Chris will do anything to make time on the road. Like literally, we're gonna be like, guys,
Chug, chug,
Well,
chug,
they're
chug,
playing the
chug.
ties, we have to go.
Just got to drink my own piss quickly.
No time to
Just-
stop for a bottle of water.
literally doesn't
Every
even put it in a bottle. It just
That's just some gymnastics, right? Christ.
They just
that
got
is an
fountains.
image.
They got fountains in the front seat now, boys.
But I feel like we have managed to get to an image that none of us thought or
Yeah.
hoped we would ever get to. So I think that might be a decent place to stop my absolutely horrific
Yes.
scenarios for you. But
Yeah.
thanks for being good
Yeah.
sports for it.
No worries.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
And I think that's where we might end the podcast. If there is anything that you guys want to shout out or just say, feel free at the moment.
I'd say, obviously, if anyone is listening or watching this and they haven't listened to our stuff, go and check it out. It's on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube, and all that stuff. Just search Led by Lanterns. And if learning more about behind the scenes stuff and any of the, obviously we answered a lot of questions here on this podcast, but if you want to know more in detail about anything, even as far as my job goes, tour managing and sound engineering, I do a whole video series on how to do it inside the Lanterns Alliance. Snake, our drummer, runs a successful vegan seitan food distribution company, and he talks about how he started that. And Sean talks about how he learned to scream from the latest single, because he never used to scream. It just kind of came out of nowhere because he put hand sanitizer on his hand while he had some cuts. There you go. And obviously, thanks to anyone for watching. And if you are interested in hearing any of our stuff, just give it
I've
a
linked
search.
it in the
Also,
Twitch link.
we're possibly touring in July. So
Ooh.
the tickets are
It seems more than likely, though,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
yeah. So ledbylanterns.com for literally everything I just said. Ledbylanterns.com.
Thank you so much, guys. I think I'll give over to Tommy to lead us out, the big man.
Well, yeah. So this is obviously a new series that we'll be doing. So we'll probably be getting multiple guests on if we can, even just any artists. So it could just be like NFTs and kind of cryptocurrency, like actual artists. But we hope you've enjoyed the podcast itself. Thank you guys for obviously coming out. Thank you for Led by Lanterns, obviously, for coming on to the podcast. And we hope to hear more stuff from you in the future. But yeah, that's really it. So we will see you in the next kind of podcast. Don't know when that'll be, but it'll be sometime soon.